Welcome to a special edition of SRCN Outdoors. It's opening day of firearm deer season, and in this episode, we stop by the Onaway and Hillman area buck polls as we talk to hunters young and old as they bring in their bucks for fun and prizes. Stay tuned, SRCN Outdoors Buck Poll Edition starts now. The Hillman Buck Poll opened at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, November 15th in the Dairy Queen parking lot on State Street in downtown Hillman, hosted by the Hillman Area Chamber of Commerce.
My name's Robert, and I'm with the Hillman Area Chamber of Commerce, and today we're at the Hillman Buck Poll, and pretty much just we got one on the pole and waiting for the more to show up in this lovely rainy weather. Well, today we opened at 9 o'clock, and anybody can come and bring a deer until 9 tonight. They have to hang all day if they do bring one, and then at 9 we'll bring them down and award the prizes. The prizes will be awarded right here next to the buck pole. We have 3 rifles that we're giving away, and then a couple other prizes, 2 $75 cash prizes, a jacket, chair, and a couple other miscellaneous. Last year we had a pretty good turnout. It was two days, so we had a pretty good turnout each day. Don't quite remember the numbers. I think we had over 20 combined both days. Well, I hope we have a good year, a good turnout on the pole, and a lot of people stopping by to take a look at the deer.
And despite a cold, rainy forecast all day, bucks started coming in one by one.
I've seen probably 10 does come in during the day, the morning. About 10 after 9 or so, we were getting ready to pack up, and this one come out moving pretty quick. Made a little grunt, he stopped and dropped him.
And where did you get him at?
Out north of town a bit. I'm just happy I got him. Make some jerky, some steaks, burger.
I'm Wes Shepard from Taylor. It's right outside Detroit. And I got in a little late today. You know, it's about 8:30. I got in, and it come in about 10 minutes later. And I took a shot at him, and he dropped right on the spot. Everything's good from there. You know, the story tells itself. So.
And where did you get him at?
Over in the boneyards. I'm happy. You know, it's an 8-point. You know, you can't. I mean, rainy day like this, getting 8-point, you can't beat it. You know, so pretty cool. I'm gonna cut him up, eat him up. You know, probably put him out on the rack. You know, so.
I hunted early in the morning, you know, I went out before it was 6:30, sat in the woods till 9:40 when I shot him, but I seen other deer coming in and out, and I seen little bucks, and I thought I seen something chasing a doe off on a wood line, and I was waiting, and I didn't think I was gonna have any chance. And when I didn't see nothing, no more deer were around, that gate come out, and he was just like, right in my view, plain as day, just stepped out. I didn't even think twice, I just let him have it. I got him out. It's Pleasant Valley area, about 7 miles out of town. I'll probably get him mounted, get a shoulder mount.
It was about 230 yards away, and it dropped in its tracks, and it died right there.
And where did you get him at?
In a big wheat field, 740. I went European it, hanging it on my wall.
We then hightail it up to the Onaway area buck pole, which opened at 11:30 a.m. outside Parrott's Outpost and Tom's Family Market along M68 in downtown Onaway.
We took it over from the chamber, I think approximately 6 years ago. Well, we're real happy to have it here because it brings people to our great town of Onaway. As you can see, we have a great turnout for it. It just promotes the good deer hunting we have in this area.
Mike Radke. I'm from Tower, but I was hunting in Akiak area. Well, I was sitting in my blind watching everything, and I just was checking around different spots, and then I went to check another spot, and thought I saw a bush that wasn't there before, so I got the binoculars on it, and it was this 7-pointer. So I got the gun, put the gun up and put the scope on it and took it down one shot, right through the heart.
All right, and what time did you get it today?
About 7:45, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there. That's the biggest deer I've got, period.
Wow.
I've gotten 6-pointers, but not as wide as and as good looking as this 7-pointer. Well, I'm getting a shoulder mount for it, and then taking it up and getting the meat ground down into steaks and that, in hamburger.
Norris Hartz, I'm from Millersburg, Michigan.
And where were you hunting?
I was hunting on our farm. I seen one go through just before daylight. I didn't get a shot, and this one came in about 8:19. I'll have it cut into steaks and burger.
I was sitting in the rain, and I had does on the bait, and he came in chasing the does, and I shot him.
And where were you set up at?
Out south of town.
And around what time did you get him at?
10:20. Feels good. I'm gonna get him mounted.
Over by Shangri-La, over by the swamp. I've been sitting on that spot for about 10 years maybe. We've been camping down there since the 70s. I saw just a little flicker of movement, which I thought was a bird. And it got me excited, okay, wake up, time to pay attention. And then I saw a little bit of movement. And then I saw this white thing go by, the other clearing. It's like, I don't know what it was. Could have been a coyote, could have been a cougar, I don't know. All I saw was the top of his back. And then he disappeared. It's like, crap. And I grunted a couple times, quietly. Can't hurt. And I sat there and I saw another movement again in that same spot by the tree, a little white flick, and I said, okay, excitement. And then I said it was probably a doe, and I got ready in the opening. And then I saw his nose and I saw some horns. And I said, as soon as he gets out of the brush, I'm going to shoot. And he went about 30 yards. 12 points, and then some kickers here probably count also, but an honest 12. It's the best deer I ever got. I've gotten spikes through the years. I've had to go 10 years without anything. He's getting mounted. And my wife told me I couldn't only bring a moose home. So I texted her, I said, I got a moose. She didn't believe me, so I just sent her the picture, and she says, that's a moose.
The Onaway High School Onabots Team 5534 was also on site during the buck poll, selling refreshments and 50/50 tickets as a team fundraiser.
My name is Katie Adair, and I'm the captain of the robotics team, and we're here just doing a fundraiser to kind of help raise some money for our team so we can go to our events this year without charging the kids a lot of money to be on the team. Today we have hot dogs, cookies, bread, lots of homemade baked goods and jams. We've got pop, chips, all kinds of stuff. Actually, my Girl Scout troop used to do a fundraiser on the same day with a bake sale, and we always did really well with it, but since we're all too old for that anymore, we decided to try it with the robotics team.
And so far, how has your turnout been?
Pretty good. There's a lot of people here. The buck poll's already half full, so we've got a lot of people coming by to check us out, and we've already made a couple sales, have some donations.
So Mike, tell us a little bit more about this poll and the prizes that people can win.
Well, the bucks that come in here have to be on the pole by 7:30. And at 7:30, we'll start giving out the prizes. We have 12 places for the biggest bucks, and then we have a number of other options, first buck, biggest ladies buck, those kind of things. It's way better than I thought it was going to be this morning. I thought we'd have fewer hunters in the woods. We hadn't been hearing a lot of reports of bucks running around, but it's been way better, and a lot better than last year.
He came in from the left out of the swamp and was standing back in the brush, and I could just see his horns back there. And he just took another step, and I just touched it off, and he buckled.
All right, and when did you end up getting him at?
12:27 in the afternoon.
And where were you set up at?
Out by the LeGrand Ranch. I was just really excited. It's the biggest buck I've ever shot.
All right, and what are you planning on doing with that?
I don't know, maybe a shoulder mount, maybe just a little rack mount.
Well, it's pretty exciting. It's the biggest one he's ever shot. He was pretty pumped when he saw it coming in there. He saw it before I did and said, hey, Dad, there's a buck. And he's like, I think it's a shooter. And come out, and he took 2 more steps, and he put him down right there.
I'm Heather Hoffmeyer, and I'm from Onaway, and today went out first thing in the morning and was sitting all day and had some does coming in and out. Saw a couple of small bucks, and then I started to see a little bit of chasing going on in the wood line, and I couldn't see it. I'd get a flash antler here and there, and then eventually I just waited all day, didn't move, and it finally came into the edge of the tree line, and I finally got a good look at my buck and got the shot, and he dropped right there.
And when did you end up getting it?
What was it, 2:30. I'm excited, and my kids are excited, and now my daughter wants to be able to go out because I have a combo tag, and she's hoping I get another one. We might have them mounted, and definitely going to process them.
I got out to the blind at like 6:30, and I was sitting there. I looked up about 9:30, and the buck just walked out with a doe. I told my dad, there's a buck right there. He covers his ears before I even have the gun up. He's just like, shoot it, shoot it. I don't have a clear shot. There's a tree in the way. I have to wait a couple more steps, pulled the gun up. I'm shaking. Adrenaline's going through me. I pulled the trigger, and all I could think of, I got the buck.
So when did you end up actually getting it at?
About 9:45 this morning. I'm just so happy that I actually got one. I've been in the blind with my dad while he shoots them, but I never had the chance to actually be behind the gun. So.
All right, and after this, what are your plans?
Enter in a couple buck pulls, see what happens.
And how'd you decide to come here to the Onaway buck pull?
A couple people said that would be a good chance and a good experience, so just took the opportunity.
I shot that. I'm calling it a 10-point. Marvin said it was a 9-point. It was about 7:45 this morning, and had some does in there, and he come in. A spike horn had chased a doe off, and when they come back, there was a spike horn, a 6-point, and this one, and I shot it, and it ran about 50 yards, and down it went. So my brother does taxidermy, Leighton Judy's taxidermy service, and I'm going to get a shoulder mount on it. And this is my wife, Jeannie, and we both shot a buck this morning. It's our first year. We've been hunting a long time together, and it's the first year that we both shot one opening day. And she shot this nice 8-point, and I shot that what Marvin's calling a 9-point. So.
So where were you two set up at?
I was sitting at our house just east of town here, and Jeannie was out on state land in her blind that she's hunted in for, what, 20 years?
Yep.
20 years. Yeah. She shot a lot of nice bucks out of it, and this morning we just both got a nice one, and we're very thankful. We
say a prayer before, and we say a prayer and thanks after when we get one.
Yep, we're very grateful.
Bucks continue to fill up the poll into the evening when Tom's Family Market co-owner Ryan Howell announced the prize winners for this year's poll at 7:30.
Yeah, we've Parrots Outpost and Tom's Family Market. We've been putting on this buck poll as a dual effort now. I want to say this might be our 4th or 5th year in a row doing this. And we just keep getting a tremendous turnout. We get tremendous support from the Onaway community as well as communities outside the Onaway area. You know, the first prize will be a Remington 300 Win Mag with a scope. Second prize being $400 cash. Third prize being a full front shoulder mount, right down to muzzle brakes, to $200 cash prizes, a deer feeder, New Way stoves. I think the first, if I'm looking at this correctly, the first 14 deer this year are going to get good prizes of over $100 or more. We figured that we have almost $4,000 in prizes donated this year from the community. Well, we have a group of women that do a tremendous job going throughout the community, asking people for these prizes, and they've been doing this now. It's probably their 4th year or 5th year doing that as well, and they do a tremendous job.
And Ryan, as a hunter yourself, I'd like to get your thoughts on how opening day went for you.
It was really wet. Rained all day. I was fortunate to get an 8-point about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I got soaking wet, gutting it, getting it out of the woods. But, you know, it's opening day. I mean, it's just something we do up here, and I don't think the rain mattered. Everybody had fun, whether you're wet or not. You know, everybody from what I've talked to has seen deer. Another good turnout on the buck pole. A lot of deer still coming in, so I don't have a count yet as to how many are here, but it's looking really good.
We then moved back down to Hillman as hunters continued taking their places on the pole until 9 p.m. Jim, tell us about how long this buck pole has been taking place here in Hillman.
I think it's about 35 years, but it used to be down at Jim Stoddard's, which owns the Highway Bar, and the A1 Party Store used to manage it. 2 years ago, they quit and said they didn't want to do it anymore because their buck pole was rotting and falling down, and he was afraid that someone would get hurt. So we built the new buck pole, and we made it into a traveling buck poles. So that way you can put it at any different business that anybody wants it. All they have to do is let the Chamber of Commerce know, and we can make arrangements to have it. Now, if there's more than one person that wants it at one time, we might have to have a vote on it. We got 17 bucks that came in so far, and I don't know if we'll get any more in or not.
I'm Ethan Smith. I'm from Benzie County. Well, I'm originally from Alpena, so we were hunting out at a friend's house, and about 420, 8-point came in, and about 300 yards, dropped in 308. This is my biggest buck yet, so I was surprised, I guess.
All right, and from here, what are your plans with the deer?
Just see where it scores.
I was watching a couple other does out in the field, and he came in chasing a doe about 500 yards off and followed the doe all the way up to about 150. Then I shot him, and he ran about 50 yards and dropped.
And when did you end up getting it?
About 5:30.
And where were you set up at?
I was in a blind. There was, all in front of me was fields, and then to my right was all trees, forest.
And how far out of town were you?
I don't know, probably 10 miles north of town. I was pretty excited. I couldn't tell how big he was through the scope, but I knew he was big, and one of the neighbors said he saw a 12-point, so I was hoping that was him. But.
All right, and now that you got him, what are your plans with him from here?
Well, I just made a smoker, so I'm probably going to try and smoke the back straps.
Yeah, run out about 7:30. We slipped the earmuffs on the 3-year-old and touched her off. It dropped.
Around what time did you end up getting him?
7:35.
And where were you set up at?
Sitting right in our deer blind. Beauregard Road and M32.
And what were your thoughts? What was going through your mind when you got the shot?
Let's have a drink.
And now that you got him, what are your plans from here?
Gonna skid him and eat him.
My name's Linda, and I'm from Bay City. And I got him at 8 a.m. this morning. He was in an open field chasing some does, and I got him about 100 yards.
And from here, what are your plans with your buck?
Meat and potatoes.
All right.
It was about 5 o'clock when I got my buck. He came walking right in front of our blind.
And where were you set up at?
Behind our house.
And now that you got him, what are your plans with your buck from here?
Mount it, I guess.
It was about 4:30 this afternoon. I was actually field hunting, sitting on the ground, grunted at him a couple of times, took the shot, actually broke his back, so that wasn't so good. But.
And where were you set up at?
South of town, down on Ray Road.
All right, and what were your thoughts when you were getting ready to shoot him? What was going through your head?
Pure adrenaline. That's all it was. Shoot straight and hope he goes down.
And how many points is he?
He's an 8-point. He's right there.
All right. And now that you got him, what are your plans from here?
Take him home and eat him. That's
all
my
right.
plan.
Any special way we're going to have him processed or anything?
Nope, we do it all at home. Do it ourselves.
The last buck of the evening was brought in around 8:45 p.m., harvested by Deanne Carrows of Hillman.
Actually, I went out hunting this morning and didn't see nothing. And then I went back out about 2 o'clock and 2 fawns come out. And about 5 minutes later, he chased him off, and out he came.
And around what time did you get it?
About 2:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Actually, he only run about 50 yards and dropped, so.
All right. And where were you set up at?
Out on Morrow Road in Hillman. My scope was fogged up. I looked at his body. I put my crosshairs on what looked like a good shot, and I pulled the trigger.
All right. And now that you got him, what are your plans from here?
I'm going to mount him. It's the first big buck I've gotten in a long time.
Finally, Hillman Chamber President Jim Paskowski announced the buck pull winners at 9 p.m., including largest rack going to Ethan Brandt, youth largest rack to Brody Applegren, and largest rack for female going to Ashley Chapin. Also, heaviest buck for male went to Wyatt Berry, and heaviest for female going to Deanne Caros.
Check from the chamber, the Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you.
I feel it went very well, considering all the weather we had, rain and everything else. It went real well. We had a very good turnout and a bunch of nice people around here. It was great to have the chamber have something like this.
Well, it started out rough with the rain, but then the weather turned, and I think it went pretty good. We had 20 deer hung on the pole and had a pretty good turnout, and I think people were happy this year. I'd like to thank all the volunteers and the sponsors that helped donate prizes and gifts to make this year a good year, and appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us for SRCN Outdoors Buck Pole Edition 2017. And a big congratulations to all who participated in the Onaway and Hillman area buck poles, and we wish the best to all hunters taking part in this year's firearm deer season. And remember, for all things local, you stay tuned to Sunrise Cable Network.